Welcome to Vermonters in Business, where we highlight some of the very best business leaders in our state and the amazing things they're doing in their communities. People of Vermont, welcome to Vermonters in Business, where our mission is to highlight the businesses and business leaders in our state that are doing incredible things in both their work and their communities. I am your host, Drew Kinney, insurance agency owner, investment property owner, and technology investor. Joining me, as always, is Travis Spencer, serial entrepreneur, local business enthusiast, and of course, around here, we know him as an amazing insurance agent. King of the hot take, Travis Spencer, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Love this. We got a full table. First time, 4 people.
First time doing 4 people. Yeah, we had to squeeze in. It's getting a little tight. No big deal, though, right?
It's great.
So we have an exciting show today. I am happy to have these folks with us today and have 4 people. This is good. Joining us today, we have John Gergely and Rachel Goldstein from Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity. John is a business counselor who joined the team after a successful career doing finance and business development in the computer industry. In his free time, he enjoys skiing, hiking, biking, carpentry, firewood gathering, and of course, dominating the daily Wordle. Rachel is a program director for the Financial Futures programs. She's been with the organization since 2020 and is proud to work at such a mission-driven organization whose employees work tirelessly to advocate for and to improve the economic, social, and environmental living conditions for thousands of Vermonters every year. In her free time, she enjoys hiking, mountain biking, skiing, catching live music, and crafting. Awesome. Thanks for joining us, guys. How you guys feeling today?
Good. Glad to be here.
Yeah, good. First podcast?
Yeah, for me, actually.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, good. Travis and I have been working away at them, so we're getting there.
We're breaking down walls, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
So you guys do exciting work, and we're super happy to have you here because it's important work. And I know Travis, he tries to help out wherever he can and offer insurance advice and things like that. But this is a great opportunity, to have you guys come on and talk a little bit about some of the work you guys do over at the Champlain Valley Office of Economic Opportunity. So before we dive into that, we have what we call the Vermont Hot Seat questions, and that's going to give our viewers a little bit of a feeling of what you guys are like as Vermonters. So John, Rachel, are you ready for the Vermonter Hot Seat?
Hope so. Here we go.
All right. So first question, and I guess maybe we'll start with Rachel and then John. Pancakes or waffles? What are you having with your Vermont maple syrup?
I mean, I don't discriminate. I like both.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick, waffles.
Okay.
Stacked high.
Yeah, waffles, hands down.
Okay. It's running away
We
with
should
it.
be keeping a tally, but waffles are running away with it.
Yeah.
Homemade waffles.
All right. And then a perfect day for you. Is it a winter day at the mountain or a summer day at the lake?
John, you start.
Wow, that's really hard.
You've got to pick one.
Oh, man. I would say with ideal ski conditions, a winter day at the mountain.
I love it.
Yeah, I would add as long as someone else is driving. I
Yeah.
don't like driving in the snow.
Okay. I love it. 2 ski picks.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Usually the
it up.
lake has been kind of dominating, but we preface that, but a lot of times we've been recording in like March, and so like everybody's over winter, and so they're like, I just want to get to the lake.
But I do love a good stick season for mountain biking and hiking.
Okay. All right. So it is your birthday dinner, and you can go anywhere in the state. Where are you going?
Oh, well, I mean, hands down, I'm going to Michael's on the Hill in
Okay.
Waterbury.
Love it. Very confident.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just as happy as going to the pub in Mad River Glen.
All right, that's good. Everyone's it's your birthday. You get to pick.
Yeah.
All right, hot summer day. What is your creamy order, and where is it from?
I'm getting anything from Offbeat Creamery. I like to keep it dairy-free, and they're over in Winooski, and they just do an amazing selection. They're all different flavors.
Yeah.
I love them.
I've been waiting for somebody to bring up the dairy-free option, so this is good. Yeah,
It is good.
I like it.
I'd go for the mixed chocolate and vanilla at Goodies in West Addison.
I love it. I love it.
Traditional twist.
Yeah. Classic. All right, well, that is our Vermont Hot Seat question. So from here, I'm going to transition it over to Travis, and we'll dive into some of the exciting work you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. So it's kind of a question for both of you. Who is CVOEO, and what do you do?
Yeah,
Rachel, I'll let you start.
I'll start us off with that, sure. So CVOEO is one of 5 community action agencies in the state of Vermont. The mission of Community Action is poverty alleviation and helping to raise the quality of life for low to moderate income Vermonters. So we have a variety of services from food stability to housing stability, utility assistance, weatherization. Head Start works with us, Feeding Chittenden. And then, of course, Financial Futures is our program. We do financial literacy education and small business development.
Awesome. Yeah.
And on the business side, John, what are you guys doing?
Well, I am one of 3 business coaches, and my main mission is to assist our clients in starting small businesses or address any kind of small business problem or question they have. But typically, it's startup related.
And what are the challenges, and we can kind of keep this theme going on the personal and business side, what are the challenges that your folks are seeing who are coming to you? What's like some of the bigger issues that they're dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, in Financial Futures, we're working with a variety of circumstances. You know, every person's situation is going to be unique into themselves. And often our clients are facing multiple challenges. And so they're not just coming for assistance with financial literacy. It might be that and housing or that and food security. And so we're really trying to assist them to move from kind of a feeling of insecurity to feel more secure. But that looks different with every single person we work with. So some of the challenges we face is really boiling down what's the heart, what is the first thing we can address to find stability and then be able to grow.
And have you seen, before we get to the business part on that, have you seen more issues over the last couple of years since COVID with that, or how's that adjusted or changed with your clientele?
I actually would ask John to answer that since he's been here before and
that's true.
after the pandemic.
So one thing I would say, just to point out, is that we can only work with clients who meet a certain threshold of low income, which is 180% of the median income in Vermont. So just by definition, our clients are coming to us under-resourced. And not just financially. Oftentimes they come with emotional problems, mental illness problems, homelessness often. And it's surprising the array of disadvantages that our clients have. So we have to take all of that into account when dealing with a person. And whether it's gotten worse or not, I don't think so. I think we were especially busy after the pandemic because through the state and the federal government, there was a large pool of money that was offered for grants, $5,000 grants. So we were flooded with applications, and those grants ended up being life-changing for some people.
Definitely.
So I whether that was directly related to the pandemic, I don't know, but we were busy.
And on the business side, what are you seeing with folks that come in? Like, how do you help them through that startup process?
Well, and again, that's a whole range of problems because some people come to us with a very clear idea of what they'd like to accomplish. Some just think, I want to start a business, let's go. And so it varies from helping people just flesh out the idea to helping them understand what the resources are they need. We enter into the relationship usually with the understanding that we're going to write a business plan. And I probably can count on 2 hands the number of business plans that have actually been written because of some people don't come back for appointments. They realize this is something that's harder than they expected. Some people pick up enough where they just carry on and then they come back for periodic help and questions and that kind of thing. So it runs the whole gamut. I mean, some people come back to, now that I've started my business, how do I keep track of things? It could be something as basic as that. So we do a little spreadsheet coaching maybe.
Sure.
Is there a demographic breakdown from like an age standpoint? Do you see people who maybe were employees for a while, then now they're thinking, I want to do something on my own, or maybe younger individuals who want to be their own boss from day one? Like, is there really a breakdown?
I think statistically, they're mostly women.
Okay.
I think, and most, as I recall, last time I checked, most of them are college educated. And there the demographic varies because a lot of the clients tend to be younger, but some older women have experienced a divorce or a death or some change in their life that now causes them or that influences them to go out on their own.
And do you see that more on the personal side as well, where maybe it's one spouse who did more than the other from a financial standpoint, and now the other individual is trying to figure it all out on their own?
Yeah, we definitely work with a lot of single parents, and they come saying, you know, I always counted on my spouse, and now I'm on my own, and I need to figure out my budget. I got to get my credit in order. So we do a lot of one-on-one counseling, and we also provide monthly classes for people to come to. We actually really try not to limit who our classes reach. So John mentioned our income eligibility for one-on-one counseling, but we do keep our classes open to the public because we really want information to get out there. And for those who then want to continue with one-on-one coaching, we can kind of narrow it down to those who are income eligible or make referrals to other programs. That was a little off topic,
No,
but
that's
yeah,
good.
we're really trying to reach our community and not limit the services we can provide.
And one demographic that's growing is from the community of New Americans.
Yep.
We've got a lot of New Americans who come in looking for help.
And well, along those lines, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to elaborate on that a little bit because we started a financial empowerment for New American program prior to the pandemic. But during the pandemic, we received a lot of funding to grow that program. The first wave of funding came to really open a hotline that would be staffed by 9 different community members representing 7 languages. And the mission of that hotline was to be able to answer questions in real time because we realized there was such a lack of transparency and communication getting out during those early days of the COVID pandemic.
Yep.
And a need just for basic questions to be answered. What do I need to be doing to stay safe? So even though we were providing a financial service, we realized we had this community that trusted us.
Right.
And we're calling our ambassadors saying, I know you do financial literacy, but what do you think about masking? What should I be doing for vaccines? So we weren't giving health advice. Do you want to be clear about that?
Yeah.
But we
But it must be
provided the
comforting
service.
to people found you as a resource for more. Yeah.
And it's allowed the program to grow. So from that, we realized there was a real community need for not just focusing on financial literacy with New American clients, but being able to expand it to support the work that we do at CVOEO as a whole. So all of our programs, from housing to food security to Head Start education. So it's been a really exciting program that is growing, and stay tuned for more on that. In July, we're going to have some big announcements coming
Oh,
up.
very
so
cool.
Well, and with
you'll
New
have to invite us back.
Yeah.
Well, definitely round 2.
Yeah.
And with New Americans and the diversity of the New Americans, a lot of them have different belief systems with money, with debt,
Definitely.
with things like that.
Yeah.
So has that been a challenge to,
It's really been interesting to observe. I had some clients who, a couple of people from the Nepali community, for example, they were very, very aggressive about wanting to start a restaurant or buy one, I think, at the time. But there is this incredible sense of community with some of the ethnic groups. And so the Nepalese, for example, they will help each other save money so that one of them will meet their objective, whether it's to buy a house or buy a business, and then they'll pitch in to help the next person. And unlike our American culture of go it alone and do it yourself,
Yeah.
there's much more of a tendency with other cultures to help one another within the community.
And I just learned recently, I believe it's Opportunities Credit Union with their Sharia loan, where most people of the Muslim faith don't believe in debt.
That's
They're
right.
taking on loans.
That's
So they've
right.
adjusted this loan.
Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, I don't know, you might have better insight, but it has more of an upfront fee as opposed to the interest in a more of a traditional loan.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those details. but
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's also a new one that was recently launched from the city of Burlington, the Burlington Revolving Loan Fund, and that's similar, zero
interest.
zero
right?
interest, so it's Sharia law
Yeah.
compliant.
Yeah.
So these are things that we've been learning together, just how to better support our community and meet their needs, right?
Yep.
I was thinking about, well, no, I guess we touched on that a little bit. I was thinking about some of those clients, though, who've been so appreciative of these loans that are compliant, because that has been a barrier in the past. Yeah. And that's when our community ambassadors can step in and help navigate and facilitate those conversations so
Yeah.
that people can understand what's being offered.
Right.
And similarly, actually, a lot of times we have to have, not a lot, but on occasion, we need to have translators come in and
Yep.
sometimes you'll have a meeting with the client, the client's parents, and the translator, and trying to watch all the body language and signals
Yeah.
and communicate and
Yeah.
make sure that what I'm saying goes to the translator, the person
Yep.
correctly. And then suddenly the mother will say something to the client like, what happened? You know?
From a startup standpoint, with the businesses you work with, is there similar challenges? I know we talked about, the type of people that are coming to you and their personal challenges, but just from trying to get those businesses started, is it financing? Is it insurance? Is it employees? Like, what do you see?
Well, again, because by definition, they're under-resourced, they're not like a person who can come in, go to a mentoring program through SBA, for example, and say, hey, I've got a house that I can put up for collateral. And many of our clients either have very bad credit or don't even know what their credit scores are, and so that's something we work through and talk about and assess. And they may not even have a car, or they have a car that barely runs, and so it's always this pressure of being under-resourced. But there are institutions such as Opportunities Credit Union, what's the one in Barry? Community Capital, that are
Vermont Community Loan Fund.
you're right, that are not traditional lenders, and they will bend over backwards to help clients in any way they can typically, and maybe issue a smaller loan, interest rates higher, but they just don't shut the door on people and say, go away.
Right. Just try to get them started.
Yeah, right.
I'm thinking again about our new American community members, but something that I've witnessed is particularly women who would like to start childcare centers, and we all know that childcare is something that's high in demand here. But
Yep,
it's
big need.
There are big barriers to getting them off the ground and running, and some is financial, but also the credentials that go into that. You might be certified in another state or another country, and you come here and you need to meet certain requirements to get certified, rightfully so. But when language is a barrier, how do you move through that process? You know, the will's there, the interest is there, but the credentials can become a barrier too. So I know that's something that our coaches have dealt with.
Yeah, because we don't want to discourage that drive and
Right.
motivation, and so it's kind of fostering what are the next
Right.
steps, and
Yeah.
keep people motivated down that path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the challenges that you're seeing from an organizational standpoint?
I mean, that's a hard one to answer. I could cop out and say that financially there's always challenges. We're a grant-funded organization, so year to year we are driven by many of the grants that we've already written, and we're hopeful for more grants. So that, I haven't seen much of a struggle there, but it's always in the back of our minds as program directors. Where's the funding coming from, and how do we continue to do the work we're doing?
And a couple years back, I can't remember, just prior to the pandemic, there were actually some talk that came out of the State House that programs like Financial Futures and Micro Business Development were going to cease around the state. And so there was this, everyone, gasping and then scrambling and working with legislators to re-justify the programs. That hasn't happened the last couple of years.
And this year we celebrated, was it 35 years of microbusiness
Yeah,
statewide?
yeah, that's right, that's
So
right.
that's a huge milestone to have reached.
Yeah.
Do you get any financial support from the local business community at all, or any of the financial institutions? Or
We do
Well-
from local financial institutions. Yeah. I don't want to rattle them all off.
no,
just in
that's
case
fine.
there's
You don't
some.
have to. No, but I just
we're
didn't
very
know if.
appreciative of them.
I mean, I figured it's kind of a symbiotic relationship
Yeah.
where you're helping people and maybe guiding them that maybe they would give back as well.
Yeah, they
So,
do. Yeah.
fantastic. Anything you have, Jim?
Yeah, when should somebody engage with you if they're, looking for that type of guidance that you guys can offer?
Whenever they want.
Yeah.
So the short answer, yeah. I mean, the process is that people get in touch with us, whether send one of us an email, they make a phone call to CVOEO, and then we will get in touch with them typically by, well, phone or email, and we ask them to complete an intake form, which is done online now, and it just collects some very basic information. We don't ask for social security numbers anymore. And that information is kept confidential and used only really for statistical analysis of
Sure.
demographics and that kind of thing. And once we receive that intake, we set up an introductory meeting and go from there.
Get the ball rolling. Nice.
And they can come to us at any point in their business journey.
Yeah.
If they're just popcorning some ideas and they want a counselor to go through some options with them, hear if they have a viable idea, or if they're looking to expand a business they've been running for 10 years. And,
Yeah.
it's really, we meet you where you are.
Do you find it a challenge of people knowing that you're around? I mean, going back to the challenge question, do you?
We have no shortage of clients.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. So
Yeah,
that was one
yeah.
of my questions. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
people aren't having a hard time finding you.
Yeah, no, they seem to find us, and we even get some word of mouth referrals on occasion. And well, I'm very happy. I mean, several of my clients have recently been featured on WCAX's Made in Vermont.
Nice.
I had 2 clients in the last month that were featured on Vermont Public Radio. So the word gets around.
Nice. It's good to see those success stories.
Yeah.
Keeps you
Sure.
motivated.
Yes,
definitely.
indeed. Yeah.
But I also think we have capacity for more. So
Yeah.
we're definitely receiving inquiries all the time, and it's wonderful getting referrals from partner organizations. But we want people to know that we are operating primarily over Zoom and by phone and email. So, the barrier of transportation has really been eliminated.
Yep.
People up in the islands, you don't have to drive to Burlington to see us. We can
Yeah,
meet you
right.
virtually.
Yep.
And I think that's, we can look at a lot of the negatives of the pandemic, but that really has been one of the positives to come
good point.
is our accessibility is really expanded. And for those who don't have access to a smartphone or a computer, we are partnering with many of the libraries to provide space, and that we're going to be doing more and more of that in the future.
One thing I would add is, and it's probably not atypical of the business community in general, but I would say that roughly 80% of the people that we engage with fade away. Either they don't come back for a second or third visit, or who knows what happens. But some people, if I oftentimes will just send a check-in email to people because I'm curious, why didn't I hear back from you? And some people respond, some don't. But so there's always a new influx of clients coming, and some have been with us for many years.
Nice.
But for the most don't stick.
Yeah. And is any of that data used? You talked about grant writing. I mean, do they look at the success stories when
yeah.
that stuff's going
We
on?
love to hear success stories,
Yeah.
and John's so good about reaching out to his clients and asking them to share and brag a little bit.
That's great.
And we love hearing those successes, so
Yeah.
more the merrier.
Anything you think we missed? Anything you want to add, touch on?
No, I would just make one other point to that is I try to go out of my way to help my clients help each other. Somebody's got a service that they can offer that another client needs, and in fact, I just finished an email before I came here one client needed some help with improving his website, and the other client's just self-taught himself on how to be a website guru, and he's trying to start the business. I said, well, why don't you give this guy a hand and get some practice, and don't charge him yet, but see
Right.
if you can add some value to him. And
That's great.
No, that's a great approach.
And as an agency, when we have big gatherings, we just had our day away where we did our staff retreat. We do try to look to our microbusiness community, those who work with us, to lift them up, to use them as our caterers, use them
Yep.
as our printers. Whatever services we can go to, I don't want to say internally, but within the microbusiness program, just another way to elevate the work that our businesses are doing.
Makes perfect sense.
Cool. Anything else?
I think we've touched on pretty much
Yeah, I
everything.
think we
Great,
hit it.
great.
Rachel and John, we appreciate you guys coming on, and certainly, if we'll put up a little link and everything with all of your
Great.
guys' info. But how can people reach you?
oh, we didn't bring any cards, but
Hey.
go to
No.
CVOEO.org.
All right,
All right.
that works.
CVOEO.org.
Yep.
This has been another episode of Vermonters in Business. If you know of a Vermonter that we should highlight or have on our show, please send them our way. We'd love to host them, love to have them, and get their word out there. All right, thanks, guys.